When I lost my job, my wife ridiculed me online. It's difficult to respect a failure who can't even hold on to employment. And then she went even further. I filed for divorce while she believed I had nothing. I didn't argue. I simply walked away and let reality strike her far harder than I ever could. Something like this was inevitable. Hello, Reddit. My wife posted, "Imagine getting fired and still calling yourself a man on Facebook." Immediately after I was laid off. Half an hour later she made a confession that made me realize I had been living with a stranger. Get some popcorn, because in this story a rough day at work turns into absolute chaos in less than a minute. I'm a 34-year-old man, married to my wife Jocelyn, 33, for 3 years. We had 6 years together. When we met, she worked retail at Nordstrom and shared an apartment with 2 roommates in a rough part of town, the kind of area where sirens get more exercise than the residents. I earned about $70,000 a year as a logistics coordinator. Not private jet income, but enough for a comfortable life. Compared to her $28,000 selling designer handbags. To women who treated shopping like therapy, it felt like a shortcut. At first, everything worked. We were building something modest. I carried most of the financial load. She handled her share, and our expectations stayed within the same zip code. Quiet evenings, decent meals, calm weekends, ordinary routines. After we married, we bought a small house, and the balance slowly shifted. Somewhere between filing joint taxes and arguing about who would take out the trash, it stopped feeling like teamwork and started feeling like I managed the household while she was mentally browsing luxury upgrades. The beginning of the end came at her friend Morgan's 30th birthday. Dinner at one of those trendy fusion spots where they serve for tiny bites of something unrecognizable on a slate plate and charge $45 for it. Morgan had married a corporate attorney with endless suits and a BMW he likely couldn't afford. Jocelyn drank heavily that night. Not cheerful drunk, but sharp drunk. The kind where every third sentence becomes a passive-aggressive jab disguised as humor. Morgan asked everyone to share their biggest achievement of the year. Peak self-importance, but fine. People bragged about promotions and vacations in places I couldn't pronounce. When it was our turn, Jocelyn interrupted before I could speak. "He's thinking about starting his own business," she said, which wasn't accurate. It already existed. For 3 years I had been building it in my friend Mike's garage. We designed and patented it. A modified compressor valve system that made commercial HVAC systems far more efficient. Contractors were buying them. We were producing as quickly as possible. One of Morgan's friends leaned forward. "Oh really? What do you do?" Jocelyn waved her hand dismissively. "His little garage project. Cute how he spends money. Playing with tools on weekends like a hobby mechanic." "They're industrial HVAC components," I said. "We patented them." She laughed. "Does that even matter?" Then she switched to talking about how Morgan's husband had just made partner. Bought them a lake house in Tahoe. Another friend's boyfriend worked in tech and earned $300,000 a year. All that talk about ambition, drive, and people who truly succeed. The table grew quiet. I just sat there, while she sliced my expensive salmon into smaller pieces and essentially told everyone I was a well-meaning disappointment. Someone changed the topic to a reality show I didn't watch. Dinner dragged on. I smiled politely, mentally calculating the cost of that humiliation. In the car I finally spoke. "That was humiliating. Comparing me to your friends' husbands in front of everyone." She acted shocked. "I wasn't comparing, just pointing out different levels of ambition." "You called my company a hobby." "Because it is," she replied. "You have a steady job and tinker in a garage at night. That's the definition of a hobby. It's a legitimate business. We have a patent. We have paying clients." She gripped the steering wheel tightly. "If it's legitimate, where's the money? Why don't I see returns for all those hours you're gone?" "We're reinvesting everything," I explained. "Building something sustainable instead of wasting money on depreciating things to impress your shallow friends." "How convenient. You probably make almost nothing and call it a business. Reinvesting to feel better about being average." We didn't speak the rest of the drive home. She went straight to the bedroom and locked the door. I lay awake wondering when I married someone who saw me as a failure. That night something shifted in my mind. I began noticing everything. She never asked about the business unless it was to mock it. She cared about appearances. and what her friends thought. Every conversation focused on what we lacked instead of what we were creating. I began questioning whether this was what I wanted long term. The next 6 weeks passed in a haze. I kept working in the garage like usual, but everything felt different. Then they laid me off on a Friday afternoon. Classic corporate move. My manager avoided eye contact. Budget cuts. Restructuring. Nothing personal. Just business. Years of loyalty ended in minutes. I texted Jocelyn from the parking lot. Got laid off. Heading home. She responded slowly. Are you serious? As if I had done it intentionally. I confirmed the entire department was cut. How will you pay the mortgage? I told her we had savings and benefits. The business could cover us if needed. At home she sat with her laptop. So you're actually unemployed now? Yes. We need to discuss finances. Not feelings. Just money. As if I sabotaged our marriage. We'll manage, I said. How long will you sit home while I'm the only one working? You barely work full-time, I reminded her. That's not the point. You couldn't even keep a simple job. I said I could commit fully to the business. She laughed again. That hobby. That's when I knew it was over. The house was mine before marriage. The business started before her. My savings were separate. I called Mike. The buyout offer still stands, he said. I contacted a divorce attorney, moved my money, documented everything. She posted again mocking me. I saved screenshots as evidence. The buyout closed. After taxes, over $1 million hit my account. Meanwhile, the wealthy ex she left me for was arrested for fraud. Leased car, rented apartment, stolen money. Her social media vanished. The divorce finalized quickly. She received little. I kept my home, my business, and my peace. Months later she appeared at my workspace. No glamour, no confidence. She asked for another chance. No. She asked for money. No. She said she had nowhere to go. I told her actions have consequences. She drove away. I haven't heard from her since. She chose her path, and I kept building mine.